Hey everyone, this is Ryan from the Vibranium channel, and I am doing an unboxing of the Iron Man Mark 85 from Avengers Endgame. Picked this up a few days ago, pre-ordered from Sideshow and showed up. Figured this would be a really cool one to do for my first unboxing video for my channel. So let's open her up and see what's inside, and let's see what's good, what's bad, what I like. Let's do some poses, and I'll do some comparisons to the Mark 7 Iron Man that I have from a few years ago. So stay tuned. So I really like the style of box this one comes in compared to other ones where, you open the top and they come out. This one's actually kind of like an old school video cassette case where it goes in from the side, it comes out from the side. So I really like how this one is, and also has like a nice styrofoam with, take it out of here, but it looks like it's already says Mark 85 on it. Thing's heavy. There we go. Cool. So yeah, it says Mark 85 on it. It's like embedded into the top. Let's go ahead and open that. Here. Super sick. You can see all the different hands already. Plastic, the arms, the head. Just gonna take this stuff out. It's got a nice layer of plastic on him already. Don't want to scratch up the metallic, legs and paint and different stuff on him. So yeah, it was really cool. Head sculpt, obviously this is been the subject of debate of how good it is. I actually don't think it's too bad. I mean, I can tell it's Robert Downey Jr., but I guess compared to some of the older sculpts, it's a little bit off, but I mean, it's not horrible. Supposedly they are supposed to send out some, the old, well, new for this, but old versions that people like better. So I'm not sure how exactly they're going to handle that, but supposedly Hot Toys is supposed to do something about that. So cool. All right, let me go ahead and start taking some pieces out of this box, and then we'll go through each thing and see what we think. So I already went ahead and opened up the top layer of the box, got all that stuff out, then kind of cool underneath. So I was like, where's the stand and all that? So underneath the bottom here is the stand and his back part where Thor shoots him with the lightning and he shoots Thanos with it. So also I see a ton of batteries, which is cool because this thing has a lot of light up stuff, but it's also a pain in the ass to put those batteries in sometimes. So I'm gonna go and open it. Then yeah, you have your stand, thing to hold the figure, pole, batteries, and then his back part. So let me go ahead and take these out and I'll lay them all out on the table and then we'll go through and review them. And here's everything that was included with the figure from the top of the box like I showed on the bottom layer. So obviously you got your figure, 2 sets of hands, the gauntlet arm, which is really cool because it does light up. So once I get these batteries in there and do some poses, you'll be able to see it. The head sculpt we mentioned earlier, the neck piece for the head sculpt, the back plate, and then all the batteries. And they actually give you tools with this one, which is cool. I recently got the Darth Vader 40th anniversary, and he has obviously not as many batteries as that, but he does have some. And I have some little tools, like for eyeglass repair, but this is actually cool that they give you those, so that's really nice. And then obviously the stand that's themed like Avengers Endgame, the clip to hold the figure, and then the posable post so you can do different things, and then obviously the instruction manual. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few minutes, put all the batteries in him, make sure everything turns on, and then we'll go ahead and try the different accessories on him and just show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so I went ahead and installed all the batteries. Actually took the small batteries that they give you. There's 3 of them, so there's 3 in each leg, 3 in each arm, 3 in his back, and 3 in his head. And with that, you have obviously his helmet has lights, the arc reactor, his lights upper chest, rib area, down at his waist, and then he actually has some on his hips here, one on each side, and then you can't really see it here, but I'm turning them on you, but his hands do turn on as well. So when I switch hands to make it a little bit more obvious, the lights, you'll be able to see it. So let's go ahead and look at some of the hands that they give you. So obviously, the cool thing with this is the hands are actually articulated, so you can repose them however you want. You could give Thanos the finger if you feel like it. So these are really cool. Yeah, you have these two, this set here, kind of like open-handed. And then they give you these, which are more for like a blast, which I'll do that pose with the lightning receptor that they have. So these are for that. and then obviously the nano gauntlet, which you can still articulate his fingers, which is really cool. And then all these light up as well. So I'll put this on him too so we can see it. And then obviously the head sculpt with the neck piece that goes into the suit, and then the head. So yeah, let me go ahead and switch some of the stuff out and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so yeah, I went ahead and put the lightning array thing on his back. Kind of gave him a same pose, kind of an Endgame when him and Thor kind of team up and try to fight Thanos and get their ass kicked. But yeah, so turned his hands on so you can see the repulsor lights. It would have been cool if these things had some kind of lights or something on the top. Some kind of, light or something to kind of show the different, rays that would come out of it or something. But still pretty cool. It's very easy to take off. It's just on his back. Just pull it off like this. It says pegs. And then while that's off, I can show you. Or it's got a switch here for the lights. Pretty much all of his chest lights. And then top of his head here. Switch for that. And then pretty much under in the back side of his arms, these plates come off. And that's where you turn on his hands. And then these plates on the sides come off for his legs. But yeah, so kind of stand him up here like this, and then to change his head, it's pretty simple. Just pull his head off like this, and then this piece comes out here, and then you just kind of do the same thing. Replace the other piece, and then his head goes on there, and look around and stuff. So obviously this is the sculpt not everyone's happy with, but I mean, it is what it is. It's what it came with, so hopefully they do send out that other one. And then you can also take his hand, and then to put the gauntlet arm on, just basically pull his hand off. You can see where the light is. You pull the forearm part off, and then you just stick the arm in. Kind of looks like T2, the liquid guy's hand there. Then just slide it in, just all the way in, and then yeah, you can see there's a repulsor, and then spin it around. You can see the jewels there light up, so pretty cool. You can do the pose pretty easily. You can close his fist or whatever you want to do. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah. And then he has the other fists, like the closed fists and stuff, so you can do lots of different poses like that. I figure a lot of people will probably have it set up with the gauntlet on. I mean, it's kind of the most iconic part of the movie. And I know Hot Toys is releasing a version of him battle damaged. Spoilers where he dies. But I kind of really like the way this clean one looks. It's really close to the comics color scheme, and it looks really cool. So I picked this one instead. Who knows? I may end up getting the other one too, but I preferred this one just looking at the pictures. So cool. Let me put them in a pose, and let me grab the Mark 7 I have from the first Avengers movie, and we'll kind of compare them and see how far Hot Toys has come and how far the character has come looks wise and build wise since Avengers 1. And here we have a comparison of the original Mark 7 Iron Man from the movie and Hot Toys issue. This is the original plastic figure. This isn't the reissued diecast. I wish I had that one, but I want to try to diversify my collection a little bit and not get duplicates. So, but it's still held up fairly well. Unfortunately, I haven't turned on his lights in a long time. So the arc reactor is the only one that still had batteries that worked. So I'll have to go ahead and replace those. But originally, his visor did light up in his hands and stuff. The bad thing about the old figure was you can see in his joints here, it's like plastic, rubberish. It starts to fade, so it kind of almost turns pink. So, I mean, maybe this kind of makes me want to get a diecast version of this figure. Because I think it's hard because I really like the Mark 85. The color scheme's similar with the silver and gold and all that, like his original, comics. But I still like this figure. I kind of always did prefer his more mechanical suits than the nanobot ones, just because it's still a movie, but it seemed more realistic and more like invention-y than more kind of like magic science with this nanobot stuff. Obviously that suit does way more stuff, but Yeah, it's still a cool. It's one of my favorite. So I think this one, yeah, I think this was my first hot toy. It's either this or Captain America from Civil War, but I think it was this one. But it still holds up fairly well. Let's compare the head sculpts so you can kind of see the difference and how far they've come. I mean, just looking at this, I know people were crapping on the Endgame version, but it compared to where it came from, it's way better than back in the day. Um, but I mean, people still don't like this one. But putting it next to this one, it's not even close. Like this is more Robert Downey Jr. than this guy. This is like Bob Jr. over here. So, but yeah, I mean, this is also how many years have passed since then? 10 years. So I mean, it's a big difference in those sculpts. So, but still, overall, I still like that figure. But I do think this is probably my favorite Iron Man figure now. I do wish I kind of want to get the Mark V suitcase one, but I'm kind of trying to get other figures, trying not to get too many of the same characters at the moment. But yeah, I think they've come a long way, Hot Toys and stuff, with all their articulation and lights and switchable arms and stuff. Um, but yeah, it's cool to see them side by side, just kind of see where they come from as far as like the movie goes and just the figure in general. But yeah, I really like the 85. I still like the 7, but I do think the 85 now is probably my favorite Iron Man hot toy that I have. So cool. Let me put this old man back in the case, and then we'll do some poses with some of the other accessories and stuff with him, and then we'll kind of wrap this one up. So this first one, I kind of pose him like he's either hovering or just taking off from the ground, getting ready to shoot some repulsor blasts out. I kind of like posing them where they're, especially him or someone with a jetpack where they're kind of like flying. So, initial like hover takeoff thing. So that was the first one. The next one was kind of like an in-flight pose. This one's kind of tricky with the flight post just because the diecast is so heavy, but the stand does hold up pretty well. Just got to bend the post to a good angle and kind of position him in the center. But this one he's just kind of just flying, going over with the repulsor blast out still. And then the last one is just obviously the iconic snap pose, on his knees. The good thing about this figure is the legs with the ratcheting and stuff. The legs go all the way back, so it's really easy to do that pose. I figured a lot of people are going to do that with this one or with the battle damage one. So, but yeah, that's kind of the last thing he does before he exits the movies. So, but yeah, there's tons more we can do. But I figured these would be good ones to show off. To wrap this video up, just kind of give my overall rating on this one. It's as an Iron Man figure is obviously probably one of the best, if not the best. It's the last probably Iron Man figure unless something happens in the movies, and either Robert Downey Jr. comes back or they recast it. But I think it's a really cool figure. Definitely a must-have if you're a Avengers or Iron Man fan. Um, and hopefully, they'll send out that new head sculpt and people will be happy with it. But overall, I think this figure is really good. It's my first diecast figure, so it's cool to see the difference between this and the plastic. Obviously, it's much heavier, but just the way it shines in light and different things, it looks really cool. So, yeah. Um, Thank you guys for watching. Obviously, this is my first video. I'll be doing more in the future. I have some other figures pre-ordered. I have Endgame Cap, but who knows whenever that's going to get to me. That's been on pre-order for 2 years. So whenever it gets here, then I'll do that. I just have some other figures too, some Star Wars ones out. So I'll be doing some unboxing on those and some reviews. But any feedback or suggestions, add to the comments below. I'd really appreciate the video and subscribe. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll be posting some stuff on my Instagram, Vibranium, some shots of different things once I put this in the case with some other figures. And I'll post updates on when new videos coming out when I get new figures. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next unboxing.